Who's it gonna be? This is it, Lamar! Oh my God! My brain's gonna explode. My brain's gonna explode. There's something sinister afoot, absolutely.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in to the Slightly Biased Show here at the incredible Haymaker studio. Make sure you guys leave a like on the stream. Make sure you guys subscribe to both my channel, the Haymaker channel, link in the description. Also, Kirk, Kirk was you're a playback refugee as well.
Yes.
Yeah, one of the many. I had Trill Bro Dude. We're all playback refugees.
And I miss just being able to watch games like the easiest way possible on my phone. Can't do that anymore.
I know. Playback really was. I was actually thinking about that because you could just flip between games, and then you could have all the games queued up.
It was great.
So you saw all the scores?
I could do it while I was at my kids' sports on my phone. Can't do it anymore.
I know.
I can't believe I'm very sad it went away.
I am as well. Are you guys still doing live watch parties?
No, we mostly do after show stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's easiest for me to record it live and then just download it instead of uploading, doing two different things. So yeah, you can find me at Pod Maverick with Josh after every game.
Pod Maverick, Mavs Moneyball. I mean, you guys know Kirk here at this point in time. I'm willing to bet most people here know Kirk. Yeah, that's true. Salad and Go. You ever eat Salad and Go?
I do eat a Salad and Go, and get a job, Kirk. It's a great comment, Drew. Thank you.
Salad and Go is going away. I'm so saddened by this. I learned this news yesterday. I went to Salad and Go, and the guy in the drive-thru was like, "Hey, just letting you know, I just found out an hour ago. We're leaving. We're done Sunday."
They reorganized like twice, and then they're just going bankrupt. Didn't really make sense how they could sell a salad for $5, but I am sad it's gone.
I'm very sad that it's gone because you don't find that anywhere. You can't find cheap, healthy food.
No.
Anywhere. It's such a shame. Well, I'm happy you're here. It's honestly kind of funny because I saw you tweeted yesterday about I think before the Trae Young trade, about how you don't want to do the Rookie of the Year debate this year with Coop and VJ and Khan, and you just want to appreciate these guys because I wanted to talk with you about this anyways because it's kind of fun.
Oh, I'll talk about it with a person. I don't want to talk about it on the internet.
Okay, yeah, that's totally.
Yeah, I don't feel, you tweet the wrong thing, and I can't help but looking at my mentions and having, first name, lots of last numbers with their terrible opinions.
Yes.
Screaming at me. That's not of interest to me. But the actual Rookie of the Year debate is a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. But it's funny that we're back here because there was a time where there was a Luka and Trae Young, I don't want to say serious debate because it was kind of like, you take one look at the stats and I was like, come on, this isn't a debate. Right. But it was a hot topic issue at the time. I guess let's just start here because I haven't talked at all since the trade last night. Trae Young traded to the Washington Wizards for CJ McCollum and Corey Kispert. And that's it.
That's it.
That is all. Trae Young is a salary dump trade in 2026.
If you would have told anyone that Luka Doncic and Trae Young would have been traded for a grand total of one first-round pick at any point in the last, let's just say 18 months ago, they would have looked at you like you're crazy. And this trade isn't entirely surprising. Atlanta's needed to pivot for a while.
Yeah.
I think the max salary slots put teams in predicaments where they're forced to pay people who are almost become sunk costs immediately. Trae in particular.
Yeah.
They tried to build a team around him the same way that the Mavericks built around Doncic, only it's even worse. I saw a really nice, I don't know who says on the internet, but I saw a good take that like Trae's just lost a little bit of a step, and you can't be undersized, bad at defense, and slightly losing whatever athleticism separated you. And he's just such a horrid shooter this year. I think this is a great move. And going to DC is particularly hilarious because I think when I saw that he was interested in going there, like he wanted to go to Washington, DC, I lived there for 15 years. That's not a place people go to play basketball. And he looked at that, and what's the meme? I saw what you've done for others.
Oh yeah.
He looked at what the DC area did for Bradley Beal and giving him like the ultimate golden parachute, and wonders.
Still a crazy contract.
I just wonder if they'll work out an extension there. I mean, I do feel bad for some of the Washington younger players because now they just aren't going to have the ball as much.
Really?
Trae, who is my guy, who I hoped the Mavericks would have before they fell up into the draft. I watched him play his junior year at Lake Highlands, and just electric.
Yeah.
And now he's just not going to have the ball as much.
Yeah.
He's a guy I would just love to just give the ball and let go to with that team, but they're just such an odd organization.
So that's kind of interesting, and I'm happy that maybe we can bounce this off each other because I actually like it a lot for the Wizards.
Yeah,
I do. I like it from the perspective of I kind of think they've been doing good as of late with their moves and this core that they have isn't. I don't know if any of these guys are necessarily franchise cornerstones no matter what.
Yep. But
going out and getting a guy like Trey, now you have Sarr, a real legit pick and roll partner, and that could help his development quite a bit. I pulled up some numbers earlier. Like, obviously, we know Trey's one of the most prolific pick and roll guys ever. Like, he really is. That's his superpower. Because if you're that size, you have to have a superpower. And Trey's is the pick and roll. Sarr's pick and roll stuff is kind of crazy because last year, as a roll guy, 0.7 points per possession, which is dreadfully bad.
That's like Porzingis back during the post.
Yes. That is just horrible. But, rookie, and I don't even know, Bub Carrington, I guess, was his pick and roll partner a year ago. This year it's 1.2.
Pretty good.
That's a big increase. And now you're bringing Trey into that mix. I do kind of like it. It does depend on what they do with this contract, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think they really want to hold on to their, like, I don't know if it necessarily helps them any this year, and if Trey's injured right now.
Have you seen those reports today? There was reports today that he might not play as minute.
Because it's just mega tanking at that point for them. So then they have 1 year at him and an expensive contract, and you just see what you have next year. It's fine.
Yeah.
I think this works out pretty well for them.
I do too. If they end up giving him $50 million a year in the offseason or something like that, then that's when we can.
Yeah, and it's nice to have a name attached. I mean, he is a name. He went to the Eastern Conference Finals. There's, as a former DC resident, I can tell you that there aren't any actual DC fans of anything. Maybe the Commanders. So he can. I don't know if he could fill an arena, but he is kind of the fun, flashy player that could make some games a little more interesting for the fan base there. So it's an odd deal. It's such a strange thing to consider where we were in 2018 with him. 2019. Did they go to was that second year that they went?
2021.
Okay. So it's just quite the fall. Just such an odd situation there.
The chat says move the mic closer.
Oh, sorry. If the chat's heard me, Lord knows I can talk louder. That's certainly not a problem. Sorry, guys.
No, this is why the chat's awesome.
Yes.
And usually my chat is very mean to me, and not in like a constructive way, just very outright mean and hurtful. Yep. So it is nice that we thank you, Lone Star, for being.
There we go. How's that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better. I can tell that's better. Just
that's nice. That's good.
Yeah.
I can tell too. I don't know. And see, you see how they call me Chiley? Are you aware of what that means?
No, tell me.
It means chubby. So they're replacing the first.
That's really rude.
I know. That's what I'm saying. And I give them endless entertainment. And what do I get in return?
See, when Josh and I first went on video, it was that we definitely got fat shamed.
Yeah.
And I think it worked. And Josh, nobody knows this. Like, Josh is like 6'8". Josh is an enormous human being.
You are also I would say deceptively tall, but I've known you're tall.
Right, we play. I met you at that basketball tournament last summer, and it's like being on camera it forces you to be like, all right, I can no longer look like death every day.
Yeah, that's true. I've lost weight since I've started this too. It is kind of like, if I'm going to put my face out there, I might as well take care of myself a little tiny bit.
That's right. Get a podcast, guys. You'll lose weight.
It's funny because people always say Nick is deceptively tall. Mm-hmm. I guess it's just, do people just assume we're all short?
I think so.
I've been called deceptively tall.
My favorite part about going to NBA Summer League is you find two kinds of basketball writers. The ungodly, huge, like Nate Duncan, enormous man.
Tim McMahon.
Bailey. Yes, Tim McMahon, tall guy. And then you find the guys that Tim would shove in lockers.
Yeah.
That are all about 5'4" and love basketball, but never really played basketball. So it's very funny. The staff of Mavs Moneyball, everybody that writes for us, except for my guy Jordan, is about 6 foot tall. Yeah. And that's just surprising to people. It's like, well, we like basketball because we played basketball in most circumstances. So
I know it is funny. Like, there was a couple ones I remember during the Mavs playoff run. I was at games. You're taller than I thought, and in this one, you're skinnier than I thought. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? I'm skinnier than you thought. Like, I'm taking that as an affront.
Well, Nick's special because he's just the Texas classic with the bigger the hair, the closer to God. Yeah, and that's him.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true. Trae Young traded. We'll see what this means for Atlanta, because I do think this could have AD implications 100%.
I am pretty convinced he ends up there, and I don't know why.
Well, I was thinking about this today. Like, Stein, they did the Washington thing. with Atlanta, and Trey ends up going there. They Stein named Atlanta and players specifically, which I found interesting to begin with.
I don't know. I mean, I know we're going to talk about AD a little more later. I'm just very confused as to the market for Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
Like, we have how many years of data? Like, how many? He's been in the league 13 years?
Yeah, something like that.
We know he is.
Yeah.
I'm going to be interested to see how this works out for them because, like, the Hawks have some fun pieces.
They
Jalen
do.
Johnson is ridiculous. If I played fantasy basketball, he would be the guy that I would just, like, seek out to get just so I could look at his box scores most nights because he has these preposterous lines. Like, he had a 7-7-7 streak that I just, wouldn't have known was a thing, but it's like you occasionally look at his lines and he's like, oh, he's got 14 points, 13 rebounds, and 11 assists and 4 blocks. And it's like, that's not a lot. Like, who's doing this?
No, I know. He's taken a gigantic leap.
Like Andre Kirilenko on steroids. Like, it's just, it's a fun to watch. And, you know, the East is so weird.
I know. This is why I think the AD market could be more robust.
Which would just please me to no end because I have set my expectations to cap clearing. I would be happy about that. And anything more than that, I would be, you know, whoever, if we know that one particular person in the Mavs front office were to pull off a deal and say it's fantastic, gets a first-round pick, give that guy the title immediately and just move along from it.
Let me tell you my theory.
Sure.
I think Kidd is the next GM, and I think it's already kind of agreed upon.
Pain? I don't know. I mean, maybe. You know, his whole history of power.
He's wanted it.
It would be fine, but would he be like coach GM? Does he not want to coach anymore?
I think it would be. So the reason I say this, and I never even thought about it, I had 3 different people mention it to me in a span of a week, all separately, completely unrelated.
Okay.
They were just like, hey, Kidd to the GM.
I mean, if he saw Nico going to play golf after setting the town on fire, maybe that's appealing.
Yeah, maybe.
You just do your job. Like, there's not... how much work does a general manager do every day other than shaking hands and kissing babies before games? Apparently, I'm kidding. That's
what some do. That's Rob Pelinka.
That would be interesting. I don't hate it. I mean, my expectations for what comes next are so low.
I mean, my whole thing is like, if it were Riccardi or Finley,
sure,
why wouldn't they just be elevated already?
I don't know. Like that's this whole deal. The timing of that is so bizarre because it sort of undercuts the Mavs' abilities to make deals. Because one of the things that drove me crazy about the Cuban era is it became very clear, particularly like during COVID, no one knew who was in charge, and I hate that managerial structure. That just isn't like you have to have a point of contact, someone who is in charge. Matt Riccardi and Michael Finley can both be great at their jobs, but if neither is imbued with like that sole authority, that becomes a problem. So it maybe, you know, over the long term, maybe this won't be great for the Mavericks, but you know, the market for AD, if there is any market, and I think there kind of has to be like the Raptors, the Hawks, him as a closing piece for a team is cool.
Yeah.
Like he was sort of set up to fail here.
100%.
Particularly after Kyrie went down, where it's just like he was never the guy.
Yeah.
He's never been the guy.
He's a play finisher.
It's fine.
Yeah.
On those teams, if he plays how he's played with the Mavericks, when he is like clearly carrying, like the Sacramento game drove me nuts because he was like, I'm going to destroy these guys, but was just a little sloppy early.
Yeah.
And then he didn't actually get it together. Fourth quarter, he was fantastic because he stopped doing annoying stuff and rolled to the rim. And if he does the things he's good at, he is fantastic. Like top 3 center in the league for me.
Absolutely.
But if he wants to do, I'm late stage LaMarcus Aldridge, please let me shoot jumpers. That's not, it's just, what does he want to do? I just, one of the things, I don't understand this with players where it's like guys want to be something different than what they are.
Mm-hmm.
Like being a star in your role and winning sounds a lot more awesome than just taking, 25 jumpers a game or, going 7 of 23. Granted, it wasn't his fault. That was just a rough, he had a rough night at the rim.
Yeah.
Against Sacramento.
He did. That was kind of a weird game.
That's not him.
Right.
The 5 missed mid-range jumpers, unfortunately, is him. Oh, well.
Yeah, he's always had this infatuation with those long jumpers. And I think part of it might be this sets up everything else in my game, even if I miss them. Mm-hmm. But I think also part of it is I don't want to be banging in the post for 48 minutes.
Sure. I just when he makes a move, when he faces up and goes to the basket quickly, he's awesome.
Yeah.
When he faces up and like does the little behind the back dribble or something, I know it's a bad shot.
Yeah. And you can tell the moment he catches the ball if he's shooting it long too. Mm-hmm. It's just like the way he's in rhythm on the catch.
But on either of those teams, the Hawks or Atlanta, who both are like they have long guys, like that makes them instantly more interesting. Like I don't think he fits with Detroit. I wouldn't want him unless
him and Duren
center rotation.
Right, yeah, him and Duren's a little wonky.
And if he wants and then also quite candidly would free him up to demand to play power forward. I think you have to put him in a position where he's like, sorry guy, you're the center.
Yeah.
If you want that extension, this is the position you have to play.
Yeah, I wonder honestly if teams might be telling them that, where it's just like you can replace Jakob Poeltl if you want. Yeah. Like you're not replacing Scotty Barnes or Brandon Ingram.
Well, that was what pleased me. It took a little weight off my chest yesterday. I don't remember which article it was, but said essentially the Mavericks aren't like the clutch representatives know that the Mavericks aren't super interested in an extension with him. I just the starting off point being a max extension is 4 for $275.
Yeah, that's
into a madman.
I mean that's
come
not
to
happening.
The table with something reasonable.
Yeah.
Then you can have the discussion. I know that's not how contract negotiations work, particularly with Rich Paul, but gosh, it would. If somebody had said, all right, he's searching for something like a 160, $100 million less than what his max is. Even as much as I'm not a super big fan of his, I was like, maybe.
Yeah.
It's less than $1 million a game if I expect him to play 50 games a year. So there's just a lot there with AD. It's very complex. He weighs, he has that, wear the fact that he was part of one of the worst trades in sports history.
I know.
That's actually probably more than anything why I think it would be best to move him on from Dallas, just because there's like an existential weight on him. And every, I get a lot of people, how to move on? You can't move on from this.
Yeah, I know.
You can't.
And then anytime I talk about it, people just get upset. But it's the biggest talking point of this team for the next month. Like,
Sure.
there's no way you can even start a conversation about anything else, really,
without
this elephant in the room being addressed. And then, if AD's here past whatever the trade deadline is, February 4th, okay, then we can, whatever. We'll talk about, Najee Marshall's paint finishing. But like for the time being, this just has to be the conversation.
It's like, I was actually thinking about that this morning. There's still basketball games we have to cover. We have to cover 3 Jazz games in the next week and a half while this AD thing just hangs.
Yeah, I know. The trade deadline, and I want to talk with you more about this later because the Mavs, I think, have been the busiest trade deadline team of the past half decade at least.
7 years in a row.
Yeah, 7 years in a row they've made a trade. And not only that, we're like 4 years in a row of them doing something sizable. So it'll be interesting to see what the trade deadline holds. My thing with AD has always been, and I feel like I'm really in the minority on this, where I don't feel like they have to trade him. I don't feel like this is something they need to do. If it is KP and Kennard, I'm honestly okay with not doing it. And I know that leads to salary cap implications and stuff, but I do watch this team. Their record's bad. They're not terrible. I watch some terrible teams play. They're boring.
Too many clutch games.
Yeah, clutch games, and they're boring. Now, don't get me wrong. They are a boring watch for the first 40 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
But in the last 8 minutes, it'll be a 5-point game, and okay, we'll tune in. It's a close basketball game here down the stretch. But they're boring to watch. But I watch this team, and I can't help but think, my God, if they get any good guard play in any game, because it's a cycling thing right now. B-Will has a good game, Nimby has a good game, then one guy's out the rotation the next game, and then he's plugged back in. If they get any consistent guard play, they're a much better team. I don't know how good they are. I don't think they're a contender.
Well, if they stop turning the ball over 8 times in the first quarter, that's almost always the case. It's like if you stop, they gave up 35 points to Sacramento, and then Sacramento scored 63 points the rest of the game.
Yeah, when their half court defense is set, it's good. It's good, and then they can get stops and run, and then that's when they're like, okay, this is a passable basketball team. I just think Kyrie is going to, even an 80% Kyrie, is going to unlock so many things for this team in terms of being a creator for himself, in terms of being a floor spacer. Because you got to think, even the guards the Mavs play, neither of them shoot.
No.
And Nimby and B-Will, and teams know that. And B-Will hit a big 3 against the Kings, but it's just, and I don't know what's going on with his shot, because his shots aren't
his shot looks fine, just doesn't go in.
You think? I think his misses are concerning. Like, they're just, the way that they're off. Yeah, it looks good. Like
the release point, I don't hate it.
The shot itself looks good. Mm-hmm. He's such an interesting player, because he is, if he shoots decent from 3,
That's why we thought he was going to be really fun on the team. He hit 50% last year, or whatever it was.
He's a legit rotation player.
Yeah.
He's a legit rotation guy. So I just think, I'm not team keep AD, like, no matter what. But, yeah, if it would be the end of the world if we got to see Coop, Kyrie, and AD next year. Not really. I don't think that team's going to win, but, like,
Well, and this is where, for those of us who have to watch, like, we elect to pain. We sign ourselves up for the pain. You want to watch competitive basketball.
Yeah.
Like the basketball after AD went down and Kyrie went down from last year on like March was just horrible.
Unwatchable.
And you want to watch competitive basketball, but I can't help but look at what's ahead. And I don't want the team to tank. I don't think it's good for organizational. Just you don't want to have a losing culture, but I don't want them to get like the 12th pick.
Yeah.
That worries me. Even though I like a lot of what you see from the draft right now. Like, looks like another really fun draft. Like, you're not getting the Reese Shea draft where you have no idea who's
future Mav.
Future Mav. So I do want to watch competitive basketball, but I also worry if what I want right now would be what's worse for the Mavericks in the long term.
Yeah, because I agree with you that I don't want this team to completely and totally just tank and bottom out, because I don't think that would be good. Because the Mavs have what all of these tanking teams want, which is we have our number one guy moving forward forever, like 19 years old, and hey, if we think behind the scenes, because on the court it's bad. I pulled up these stats yesterday where Coop's numbers with AD on the floor are just shocking.
Well, because I put him in the corner. And
I know.
Like, you just go hang out there while AD dances.
And then the spacing is just awful. And it's not like even AD's fault. It's just those groups when you're adding Najee, who doesn't get guarded from three, and then you have a guard who doesn't get guarded from three, or you're doing the no guard, and now PJ's out there who also doesn't really get guarded from three.
This is where I think it was Tim Cato who said this to me. He probably said it off the record, but I don't. It's love you, Tim. Where he's just like, Nico Harrison did not value on-ball creation at all. And it's just like, how do you watch the last 10 years of the NBA and not value on-ball creation?
Well, it's like he watched the defense, where it's like, yeah, having a bunch of big guys who can switch, that is the formula. Mm-hmm. But all those teams score too.
Yeah,
like
the score, it's so painful.
I know the vision thing is hilarious, and we joke about it for like any time. I thought the trio of Nembhard, AD, and or the trio of Caleb Martin, AD, and Max Christie, I nicknamed the Vision. So anytime any of them did anything.
Well, we're just to the point in the season where it's very clear who Jason Kidd does not want to play.
D'Lo,
poor guy.
Yeah.
Like that's where him and Kidd had a very clear disconnect, and you almost wonder if like Kidd was setting the guy up to fail.
Yeah.
Because like that video is so funny in hindsight.
Hilarious.
Poor D'Angelo, and then you see Jaden Hardy, who just he's like the happiest rec league player of all time. He gets out there on the floor. There's no situational awareness, anything. I'm going to shoot the ball. And some games they need that.
Yeah, that's true. Some games
it's also like, man, it'd just be nice if he could play like 8-9 minutes, and they can't even do that with him.
I know. The Hardy one breaks my heart, because I really did think that he was going to turn into at least a playable guard.
Yeah.
But he is just a shooter, and there's really not much else that you're getting in terms of what he brings out there. But some of these Coop numbers with AD on the floor and without. Pick and roll, nearly a point per possession without AD on the floor, which kind of surprised me.
I don't.
But 0.6 with him on the floor.
Why are they not using those two together in those situations?
I don't understand why they don't let Coop set ball screens more.
Like that's one of his main. He's such a good move. Like he knows where to go just instinctually. At this point, that seems like it's like when they wouldn't run Kyrie Luka pick and roll.
Yeah.
We can't spam the thing that works. And it's like, well, why? You got to if you want to go to the playoffs, run the things that work. It's one thing if you're the 4 seed and you don't want to put everything on film, trying to get somewhere. If that's what the team wants to do. I just don't understand a lot of the offensive coaching. Honestly, though, it feels like Jason Kidd gets to January. You look at his January and February records, they suck.
Yeah.
He takes a vacation in these months where he's just like, all right, we're going to see what's happening. And
you hear players talk all the time about how this is the worst time of the year.
Sure.
And so I wonder if Kidd as an ex-player is just like, what, guys, let's just get to the
I mean, you remember at this point last year, we were watching Spencer Dinwiddie play Luka Doncic run through a package 6 times. So it's like, let's just Spencer. I don't know. We're at a painful point in the year.
The Spencer one was always funny in 10, where it'd be like defensive possessions, and they would sub those guys in. And people would be like, why? And I'm like, they think they're good defensive players, clearly.
That's right.
I don't know why, really. But yeah, that one, because I was going back and looking at all the Coop pick and roll stuff in his possessions, and the possessions where like a guard set to screen for him are fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
You get the smaller mismatch, and he's been fantastic in mismatches. I don't know why they never do it. I want Coop to set ball screens for anyone.
And he's willing.
Yeah.
I don't think Luka was ever willing.
No, Luka didn't want to do it.
But somebody like Coop, it causes all sorts of disruptive stuff. You get him, it's funny. I have a 9-year-old little boy, and like I try to explain to him, like the middle of the floor is where all the damage happens.
Yeah.
You get the ball in the middle of the courts where Dirk used to kill people. Because the defenses have to make the choice. And so you put Coop on a side pick and roll, even at the top of the key, you do something, you get him there, 15, 17 feet. He's gonna draw a foul. He's gonna make the right pass if he gets the ball. It's why it's so sad that Lively's hurt, because I would have liked to seen like Coop Lively pick and roll action.
Yep.
And I'm still a bit of a Lively truther where I think he can do stuff we haven't seen.
When Lively plays, there's no denying how. You think there's like another level he can take?
I don't know why. I think
Are you a Giannis? Are you a Lively Giannis
guy? I
guy?
bought into the Rafael Barlow stuff of like I watched him hit 12 threes in a row when it was midnight or whatever during his warm ups. That's part of it, but it's just Coop as a ball screener should make more sense. And they just this handoff offense sucks.
I know
it has always sucked. The press that they put on us, where it's like, oh look, we have the former Sacramento coach, the former Suns coach, and it's like, well, was he good at either of those places? No.
I bought into that shit too.
No, it's hard not to.
I know. I'm a sucker, man.
Somebody on here said Kirk's my favorite Mavs curmudgeon, and it's just like I can't help it because I just look at this and I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah.
And you don't watch something to say it sucks. I apparently do. That's one of my faults. But
no, that's that's how I am with Cowboys. So. That's where my fandom is with the Cowboys, where I'm like, oh, no, this will be terrible. This will be terrible. Mavs, for some reason, I'm like, wait a second. I get it. Like, I can talk myself into literally anything. Like, I talk myself, and I actually still defend the Caleb Martin Grimes trade.
Really?
I defend the process a tiny bit.
I still think they were trying to make a power move for Kevin Durant. So I think it was like they're building up like a low-level asset chest.
Yeah.
Like, here, we'll send you some guys that
at the trade deadline or in the summer?
In the summer.
Okay, so I that's one of my theories is if they didn't win the lottery, I think they would have gone for KD.
Which that would have been our people in Mavericks fans, I find. I got a couple guys on staff that are like this. Hate KD with like a religious fervor.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
From the Thunder days?
Just from the fact that he that he can't help but be like terminally online.
Yeah.
Which I think is
he's tweeted me once.
He tweeted I remember he back in like 2010, it was one of his early years or something. I said something to the effect of like, hey, your PER, like the team's on-off numbers are better with you on the bench. And he responded to me. And he's just like, being terminally online is endearing to me because I am. Mm-hmm. But he would have been a fun Maverick. I just like watching that guy play basketball. He was appointment television for me my first year out of college. It was like him and like Zion. And so I would have loved to seen him in a Mavericks uniform. And I could, if that was Nico's vision, interesting. I would have hated it just from the I don't want to trade Luka, but at least like, oh, okay, you could sell me Kyrie, KD.
AD?
Yeah, you could sell that to me.
AD at the 5?
Sure.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. I do wonder, to this day, I think that was in there.
I mean, I know he's saying he wanted to build a 2-big lineup and a big ball lineup and all this stuff. I think he wanted like former Nike athletes and stuff people who he knew.
Yeah, that was the AD thing. Is like he loved Anthony Davis. Mm-hmm. So it's like the value Anthony Davis held to Nico Harrison is not comparable to the value anyone else has for Anthony Davis. Just some other Coop with AD stuff. Isolation possessions with AD off the floor. 1 point per possession for Coop.
That's good.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, that's good no matter what. Before a 19-year-old rookie, 0.45 with AD on.
That means he's getting grenades, right?
Grenades, and I went back and looked at some of, I mean, the spacing is just, and some of these, and it's like not a huge sample. So some of it is just missed a shot. You go on a stretch where you miss 3 shots, and now your percentages are all completely fucked. But
well, the Coop thing, I was trying to think. So I was in on Luka almost a full year before Luka was drafted. Like I watched 10 games of Dennis Smith Jr. and I remember I was very drunk and tweeted something to the effect of like, hey, if we get Luka, Dirk's coming back. It's probably my pinned tweet to this day. And
that's impressive.
Those days I was drinking more than I should have, particularly during Mavs games. And I remember thinking I remember arguing with Scan and saying, I think the Mavericks should trade like both picks for this guy.
Yeah.
Because I was just in on him. Coop, I don't know where the ceiling is, and I don't have an NBA comp for him.
Yeah.
I truly feel like he could be anything.
I agree.
And Luka's an all-timer. I don't see why Cooper couldn't be an all-timer.
Yeah, why wouldn't
So it's like when we talk about these numbers right now, it's so funny to me because it's like one day we're going to look back at some of this stuff and feel that it's like, why did we do some of this? Why did the Mavs coaching staff like screw around in this way and like waste this stuff? Cooper's a Rookie of the Year candidate, and he doesn't get the ball for 2 quarters at a time.
I know. It's insane.
So,
well, or we could look back on it and be like, you know what? The point Coop stuff did end up helping him in the long run.
Maybe. I mean, he's so good with the ball in the situation. Like, I think the point Coop stuff speaks more to the spacing than the ability for him to run the point. Like, he can run the point, but it's just there's nobody to pass the ball to.
Yeah, the spacing is just so bad.
Yeah,
and it's not like the point Coop lineups like, all right, now we're going to put 4 shooters around you. The point Coop lineups come when it's like, we have no shooters. Coop, get out there.
And good luck.
Yeah, it's like AD's going to be standing at the elbow. Gafford's going to be in the dunker spot.
That's right.
Najee's in the weak side corner, and the guy's helping off him.
Take a 17-foot jumper after some like useless passes where everybody stands inside the 3-point line.
I don't understand that. That's the like point Coop. I defended it in the summer, and I still will because I was like, yeah, there's lineups where you could do point Coop over the course of a game. When it's just like we feel this flow of the game, we can get a bunch of athletes out there. And that's not what they do.
I will be annoyed if in like 5 years the narrative will be, oh, this really helped Coop, and it's like, no, it didn't. He was already good at basketball. Yeah. We didn't need to help him with this sort of stuff.
I agree with you about the Coop ceiling. It's hard to find a comp for him because people say Kawhi, and then I watch, and I'm like, I don't see much Kawhi really. And Kawhi is just such an outlier development guy too.
I think I see the Kawhi because what if Kawhi played hard all the time?
Yeah.
Like Kawhi went on that 6-game run where he's like averaging 39 points. And it's like, oh, what if we just gave Cooper the ball like this, and he was like his right thumb wasn't busted, and he could shoot the ball? That's sort of the argument, I guess. It's just the funny part about all this to me remains that I remember I play some video games with like a lot of NBA draft nerds.
Yeah,
and I remember when Coop's like 15, and they're talking about draft classes far out, and they're saying, all right, this guy's going to be like a next level defensive player. I kind of compare him to like a literal like xenomorph from the Alien movies because he just appears.
Yeah.
And even then you could see him with these high school games where he just like he's blocking stuff from underneath. He had a block in the Kings game where he was past the far block, came underneath and blocked at the rim. And we don't get to talk about that stuff near enough because the Mavericks aren't very good.
Right.
And the fact that was what he was going to get drafted for, that sort of stuff. And we don't talk about that sort of stuff now because we're all like, oh, well, what could this guy's offensive ceiling be?
Yep.
I have no idea. Is really fun. It was pretty clear what Luka was going to be in year 1. I never would have predicted the jump into year 2. Like
that was insane.
That was insane.
Yeah,
like, that's
all time.
So for Cooper, if let's say Anthony Davis does get traded and he becomes like I don't know what's his usage right now.
It's pretty good. It's like in the mid-20s, I think.
What if he bumps that to something hilarious like the Luka usage just because they have to?
My thing is I don't think he wants to do that.
I don't think he wants that either.
I don't think he wants to do that. Like, I 23% is his usage right now.
Okay. What if it bumps to like 28? Like, I wonder what it looks like. That's where I'm sort of curious right now.
I wonder if he'll ever be a 30 usage guy.
I don't think so. The ball, I think because that just involves a lot of isolation. And like, that's not, you can go to him to get a bucket, but that's not his best use. It's the play finishing and the his willingness to make the right passes in situations. I mean, that was what was fun in Summer League where he just kept, all right, I'm going to find Nembhard every time I can.
Yeah.
So it's the inability to project him is probably the most fun element of all this. And like when you're talking Rookie of the Year stuff, it gets kind of under discussed. It's like he just doesn't have the ball for huge sections. He just goes and stands in the corner, and we kind of collectively lose our minds online when you see a bad jumper. But maybe one day there'll be a little bit more usage, and we'll be able to overparse those numbers. It's
kind of interesting because there's not a lot of this rookie class doesn't have. Usually you'll get like 1 or 2 rookies who are just on horrible teams, and it's like just do everything for us. I don't really have that this year.
No, I've enjoyed everyone.
Yeah, same. It's been an unbelievable rookie class.
I was really surprised. And you go look at some of these other rookie classes, and it's like the 2018 draft was obviously absurd in ways that we wouldn't have been able to predict, with some guys kind of falling off in different ways. But I really think the draft order might like at least for the top 4 might stay the exact same.
Yeah.
40 years into it. I mean, you should make an argument for Khan at number 2. Khan is if Cooper didn't exist, he would just be the guy.
Yeah. I mean, if the season ended today, it'd kind of be
probably. I mean, the sheer like the percentage on the volume shooting is
it's like 45%.
It feels like somebody's tinkered with his sliders in 2K where
he never misses.
Not a thing.
It's insane.
Yeah, he's great. And the fact that him and Cooper play together, it just leads you to like project out in like 8 years and be like, could these guys hook up again? And yeah.
In Dallas?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly right.
I was listening. It's funny because I was listening to Bill Simmons. You listen to Bill Simmons at all?
Of course.
The GOAT. Did you listen to his latest podcast?
I'm a little behind.
He did like a power rankings and everyone was making fun of him because I think somebody calculated it. Like 16 of the 30 teams, he mentioned the Celtics somehow.
Sure.
Which,
yeah,
hey,
why not?
Hey, we're all guilty of it.
That's right.
But for the Mav one, he was like, his mom's a huge Celtics fan. Just something to think about 5 years from now. His mom is a huge Celtics fan. I'm looking at the usage rate leaders. There's 14 or 15 guys in the league right now. This is hilarious. 15 guys in the league right now with 30% usage or higher. Michael Porter Jr. being one of them. Shaedon Sharpe being one of them. It's actually kind of surprising to me. I do wonder, will Coop ever be that guy? 30%?
I mean, I bet you could probably get some stretches. Yeah. But if you're building effectively around him, treating him as the offensive hub, I don't necessarily think makes a lot of sense. I also wonder, we had to deal with a lot of discussions around, heliocentrism. I think that the way the rules interpretations shift all the time. I mean, you watch SGA, all of a sudden he's not getting the foul calls that he's used to getting. But he's still scoring just at the same clip, which goes to tell you he didn't need that.
No, never did.
I think with the usage stuff, I would rather see, now that we're a year away from it, I would rather see a little bit more offensive balance within the team that I watch.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm so when you see AJ Demance's numbers and you're like, how could this happen? It's very I'm perfectly fine at this point in the season being very wish-casty because it's as I get closer, I'll probably curtail that back because I want to have my feelings hurt during the draft.
Yeah.
I was very upset when the Mavericks fell from 3 to 5 in 2018. I don't want to deal with that again. But there's just a lot of sort of how do you build around Coop and the fact that there's not any clear way, what's the best way. That's just a fun point in the fandom arc. I thought about this a lot when Luka was coming up. Where it's you really have to enjoy this part, even if it sucks because they're the games you said are sort of boring. You really, if you're a hardcore Mavs fan, you got to enjoy this part because once the expectations start to come, the fun level really goes down. Because
this is the most fun part.
Yeah, and on the way up, and the Mavericks obviously have a ton of challenges ahead of them, but like you said earlier, once you get the core piece, everything else becomes easier.
Yeah,
if you're stumbling around in the dark like the Kings, or who's another good team?
I mean, the Jazz.
Yes, they just can't, because they don't want to commit the marketing.
They don't
he might be, and they just don't want to do it because they want to do things in a very specific fashion, and it's just kind of crazy to me that we got this level of lucky because Josh and I talk about this fairly frequently. I think if the Mavericks didn't have Cooper, we probably would have packed it up by now.
You think?
Yeah, just because it's too hard. It's too hard to watch this game. I would probably watch
Kasparis Yakachonis.
I would still probably obviously be a fan of the team. I might be watching Mavs Moneyball, but would I be recording twice a game or twice after every game? No. My wife would divorce me. She's like, why are we watching this garbage? And you're talking about it then for 4 hours at a time. No,
there are some locked on nights where I'm like, oh man.
Yes. No, Nick, the lot Nick's ability to make chicken salad out of chicken shit is masterful.
I always tell him it's unbelievable in the summer, especially when it's August and it's all right, we're going to talk about Dennis Smith Jr. today. I'm like, for 30 minutes.
Yeah, he'll shoot you something so we need to assign a superhero persona to each Mavericks player. You have 30 seconds to figure this out. Where did you come up with this?
That's a great one. That was definitely something he would do. All right, he's a Star Wars guy, so it'd be a big Star Wars character for Mavs players. I just Coop. There really is. There are times where he goes downhill and it's this looks like LeBron James or Giannis And then there's the Kawhi and then the Tatum. And then he'll have like that play he had a couple nights ago against the Kings where he gets blitzed on the pick and roll and then looks off the help defender and finds Gafford right under the basket. I mean, that's next level.
What I want someone to keep track of, if you're listening out there and you're a true sicko, tell me how many former MVPs Cooper Flag scores on in the clutch. Because so far in my brain, like the one over Giannis.
Oh, yeah.
Was one of like, holy cow.
Absorbs contact midair.
That was revelatory where I was like, oh, we're here now.
Yeah.
We're here now. Like, this is not happening in 2 years. This is right now. And then against the Sacramento Kings, Westbrook was trying to big boy him.
Mm-hmm.
And he just sort of shrugged him off and scored the lefty and was like,
that was a great drive.
This was like, I don't watch basketball the way I used to, where I would get like, I remember during like the early 2000s when Dirk was around, I would be so mad at the refs all the time. I spent all my time complaining about the refs. And now I'm just like I don't get really hyped anymore. I don't know, too much.
Yeah.
Like Cooper does stuff once a game where I like just kind of cackle.
Yeah.
And that's what's been so surprising is I didn't expect it to be appointment television. Even if it's boring, it's still, you got to watch because you're going to watch something that you'll look back on in 5, 10, 15 years and be like, oh, I was there for this.
Yep.
And that's pretty cool.
100%. Yeah, I've had people in my chat during games who like, you know, VJ's incredible. He's an unbelievably great rookie.
Yep.
And there will be times where people in my chat be like, oh, how many times has Luka been out? Or not Luka. Jeez. Whoops. How many times has Coop been outplayed by like a rookie in a game? I'm like, yeah, I don't really give a shit because I've seen Coop outplay like Nikola Jokic down the stretch of a game to beat the Nuggets. Like, I'm cool. I'll take the Jokic, outplaying Jokic down the stretch of a game.
That's right.
Like,
I think Cooper had Edgecombe's number so much in their high school circuit days that they, at a certain point, that guy's like, I need this more.
I think I'd have VJ in my number 2 right now. Just
really?
Like long term.
Sure.
I love Harper. It's just like a weird rookie year for him, kind of, because of the minute stuff. I love Con, and I wouldn't put a ceiling on Con really either. I think he looks like a Devin Booker 2.0 with how he just, not like an uber athlete or anything, but fantastic relocator, can shoot.
Have you seen him in person?
He's big, isn't he?
He is big, and he has
well, that's kind of D-book, though, too.
He has YMCA dad ankles that make you laugh. Like, they're just like, he just has all calf.
Just built.
Down to his foot. Like, and it's amazing that he's
kind of how my calves are.
That's right. Kind of, and you're like, it's amazing. It makes him, his athleticism even more impressive.
That's kind of book, though, where he's not like a jump out, you know, of the gym athlete, but he's still a good athlete.
I am with VJ. It's funny because I'm friends with this guy Spike Eskin who does the Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast. The Sixers fans are psychopaths.
All-time great podcast name.
Yes. And he's watched so much. I mean, I think he's pushing 50, and he's watched so much sports over the years. He just doesn't get excited anymore either. And he said to me the other day, he's like, Edgecombe is a special basketball player. He's like, I've had to watch a lot of good players, a lot of horrible ones like but Edgecombe is special. I mean, that double block that he had was one of the funnier things I've seen in slow motion because it's just it was like a video game where he's just like, he presses the button midair and keeps going up. And I briefly forgot he was an American. He's from the Bahamas, where I was like, we're gonna get this guy on Team USA in 2032, and someone's like, hey, he's gonna be at the Bahamas. Like,
you know, that's not a bad team they've got.
No, it's good.
Aiton?
Yeah.
Buddy Hield?
Buddy Hield. The Thompson twins are Jamaican. They've indicated they would like to play for Team Jamaica.
I love that.
Yes. But I also miss the days where these guys would get like secondary United States citizenships just so they could play with Team USA.
I don't know what it is, but I find myself, and maybe it's just a David Goliath thing. Like, it doesn't, Team USA's won so many times. I don't really care. But I found myself rooting for Serbia in that game.
Oh, I love it's like the Olympics are basically competition in the Olympics is basically supposed to be a replacement for war.
Yeah.
So I love when these teams play. And I love international basketball because it was like 2007. The Americans were playing, the Venezuelan tournament got moved to what was it? It was Vegas. And they're playing the Americas tournament because they lost in 2004 and then they lost in 2006.
Yeah.
And Darren Williams, I got to play against him in high school, so I was like always followed him around. And like I was like locked into this Vegas tournament. It was like on ESPN at like 11 Thursday. Like nobody's watching any of it. It's all qualification stuff. So since then I've been like hardcore, like totally locked into it. Even though yes, they do keep winning. But I just love like the idea of the best American players getting together. And part of what is fun about this draft for me is like I actually see American superstar potential for like actual MVP.
Yeah.
That hasn't. I mean, it's been a long time.
Yeah, no, it's been.
I mean, ultimately,
Harden.
Yeah, and
It's so
ultimately,
crazy.
like your nationality doesn't matter. I just think it's kind of fun because it's like it's been what is it like 6 straight years of American or of non-American MVP?
Yeah, I mean,
a long time.
I think even longer than that, right?
might
Whenever
be.
Harden's was.
Yeah, and so it's fun to see that and be like, oh, I wonder, because I really wouldn't have projected Coop at this level. I was very high on him, and I thought that okay, he's going to be really great, but this is just something else.
Yeah, the Coop stuff is it's all of the stuff I thought he would struggle with immediately that he's been good at, and that because of that, I'm like, okay, I don't know who we're talking about.
Kirk, I don't know if the Venezuelan example is the one right now. I mean, they moved the tournament from Venezuela to Las Vegas for the same reason as right now.
I think the USA stuff, it would be different for me if Coop was on the team. Then I'm rooting hardcore for Coop.
Yeah,
obviously, and that's why I rooted for Slovenia because it was like I'm rooting for Luka. Like none of these guys play for the Mavs.
Yes.
So like I'd root for Dwight Powell on Canada.
I want to see Coop play Wemby in like a gold medal game.
And I think Coop will probably be on the 28.
I think he
team.
might have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually one of Bill Simmons' best takes.
Sure.
Is that if you're over 30,
cut him out.
Yeah.
Go younger.
Go young.
Yeah.
I love that. Just it's time for these young guys. Well, I wanted to do this because it's a fun little trip down memory lane. I don't know what day the trade deadline's on this year. It's like the 4th. The 5th?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're less than a month away. We mentioned earlier, the Mavs are always like the busiest team at the trade deadline, or I'd say over the last half decade, they've been the busiest team at the trade deadline. And it's always something sizable. And we'll see. I mean,
is JJ Redick sizable?
I would say the last like 4 years.
Yes.
They've all been like pretty franchise altering moves.
Yeah.
And could very well be on our way to yet another one this year. So let's take a trip down memory lane and look at some of these, huh?
I don't remember, so this is going to be fun. Like my old person memory becomes nothing.
Well,
I remember the JJ one because I thought that was going to be awesome, and then it just didn't
that
happen.
That was great. Well, let me refresh your memory on last year. Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, Markieff Morris traded to the Lakers. The thing that I still to this day don't get, as well as a second-round pick to the Jazz to make this.
I didn't know that. I just must have like wiped that from my brain. That's just I think he must have been like, you know what, Nico Harrison must have been like, no second round picks. We're gonna have none. We're just gonna clear the cupboard, get rid of all of them.
Well, I'm thinking probably what happened was that because the reporting is that the Jazz did not know until like 5 minutes. Like they agreed to help facilitate a trade, but they didn't know what they were facilitating. And this was the price where maybe the Mavs were like, if we don't include a second round pick, they might get a little.
That sounds right.
Yeah, just some stupid shit. Jameer Watkins was drafted with that pick, by the way.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. For Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a future first. We'll see what that first becomes. What happens if the Lakers, for whatever reason, are dreadful that year and the Mavs get like a top 3 pick?
Does
that change the?
It's not fair because the NBA changes very quickly, and the Lakers have a historical ability to fail up.
Yes, they do.
But you look at it right now, and it's just like,
I know.
don't see how they get better.
I cannot believe that he signed that extension. I would not have done that if I were him.
Sure.
I mean, what's the point? They also traded Caleb Martin, or traded for Caleb Martin, gave up Quentin Grimes, and what ended up being the 35th pick in the draft.
Yeah, not great.
Ended up being Janai Broom, who looks like one of the worst players in the league. So it's not like the Sixers drafted someone, but you could have drafted.
Like my age.
Yeah, I know. He is like in his mid-20s. Yeah, I mean, not a good trade in hindsight, obviously. And at the time, I was like literally the only person who's like, this might work. And yeah, well,
I got it. I just it's what that trade reminds everyone of, and currently his problem up there getting a new deal in Philadelphia is that I hope that the NBA purges restricted free agency.
Yeah.
I think it's like, I mean, look at PJ Washington. He's on a completely different payment contract schedule than everybody else because he was restricted and then waited until August.
Yeah.
And, I sort of think that if he were able to be traded right now, he'd probably be the most valuable Maverick to be traded because his deal's fantastic.
He might be the best realistic trade piece in the league.
Yeah. I mean, and it just, it screws everything up, and it all for what? So it's like teams get a chance to hold on to guys. If you can't come to a deal or agree with somebody by their third year and they want to leave after their fourth, that's your fault for not being able to look ahead and see like, you shouldn't hurt players for that sort of thing. Anyway, I
do kind of get the logic behind it though, because the way this league is, but I think you already have we can pay you $50-100 million more than any other team, which that should never count against the cap. That's the dumbest thing.
That's a good, that would be a nice thing to sort of counterbalance where it because the salary cap's just so punitive right now, and you want it to be fun, and like it really feels like the league just is like twisting itself in a knot to where it's like eventually we're gonna have a really boring time.
They're gonna fix this at some point, because it is an entertainment driven league.
Side rant.
And people love. I mean, you've probably noticed this with numbers. People love trades and free agency.
I should talk about it more, but I'm just like, I'm bad at it, and I don't like. I've yet to convince homie Dalton Trigg to come back to Mavs Moneyball, because he's the person who's like sitting there like, it's just I'm bad at it. But it's the thing people are most interested in.
Oh yeah, people love. I mean, there are people who probably do not watch and are just like, I'm kind of like that with baseball. I don't watch, and then every offseason I'm like, oh, he got traded.
That sounds fun.
I will watch zero at bats of that guy, but I'm interested in the fact that he got traded. 2024, much different trade deadline vibe.
Sure. What's 2023?
Yeah, we can just skip through the ones. Mavs get Gafford for Rashawn Holmes, and then they give up a 2028 pick swap.
Just a great series of moves after somehow seeking out Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah, I know. Huge bailout. Well, Kyle Kuzma is one of these guys, and I mentioned this about AD. Like, I think the league views him differently than we do.
Sure.
I just think teams see his size, and
big guy, and
he's important for them.
Well, he's also playing not bad right now. So it makes you wonder. It's like, okay, is this guy was he just in Washington and needed to completely rub the stank off him for a year?
Probably.
I think so. I can't believe he didn't want to be traded here. It's like, I'm going to stay in Washington. But that ended up working out because Washington has been so much better than I ever could have wished for. And I've enjoyed Gafford. I know Gafford is very polarizing, but if you watch the Mavericks, like you go look at the 1999 to 2004 Dallas Mavericks centers, and you'll understand why I like Daniel Gafford.
Oh, yeah. Gafford would have been 35 minutes a game in 2016.
I mean, I rooted for Evan Eschmeyer. Like the Gafford is these guys are useful. And Gafford will probably get traded at some point for something fairly reasonable. Maybe not what we expect, but he is a replacement level starter. I think maybe fringe starter bench guy, but he can give you 24 minutes a game.
Certain teams,
fine.
Yeah, for sure. Like I think the Celtics would love to have Daniel Gafford on their team in their contending. So. 2028 first round pick swap to the Thunder. Oh, there you go. That's a fun one. That's a fun one to think about. And the PJ Washington trade, which was 2027 first, stings now, but didn't sting at the time really. Top 2 protected.
Yeah.
So you never know. There's a chance that could stay here.
Yeah.
Grant Williams, honestly forget he's on. Anytime I see this trade, I'm like, I forgot Grant Williams was here.
Yeah.
And I thought that was going to be a match made in heaven.
I was very excited, and people thought I named my second child after Grant Williams. That was very fun. I was like, nope, that didn't happen. It just happened to coincide.
That is hilarious. I just love Grant Williams.
Huge Grant Williams fan.
And Seth Curry gone for the, third time? Was that the third time he'd been traded? 2023 trade deadline was Kyrie.
Just one of the most crow-eating developments of my time doing this. Didn't want him. I think
not an unpopular opinion.
Yeah, but there's not only didn't want him, but like there's a lot of like audio of me like screeching why I didn't want him.
We've all been there.
And so it's obviously didn't really work out that year, but really, really fun to watch play.
Yep.
I think this is a perfect situation for him. People keep asking. I've had some non-Mavericks fans ask, why aren't the Mavericks even considering trading him? And I'm like, he's a $40 million a year vibe.
They love him.
They love him. Like
they love him. You ask anybody who's even connected to the team, it's like they adore Kyrie Irving.
And his every move isn't scrutinized here. I think that in the long term, it's really cool having Kyrie Irving as a Maverick.
I agree. And I mean, Kyrie has become very quickly probably in my top 3 favorite Mavericks of all time. I love watching him play. I love, like, part of the stuff that gets under discussed with him is he plays so hard.
Yeah.
And I just love, like, obviously he's undersized. So defensively, he'll get picked on every now and then. And when you get longer and play high level teams, they're going to hunt you. And it doesn't matter if you compete defensively. Like, that's just the way it goes. But, I mean, we joke around sometimes. We call Kyrie our power forward because it's like he'll go up in the trees for a rebound.
He's fearless. And one of the things I think, the undersized, I do think it's discussed properly. But if you were to go see him in person,
it's unreal.
It gives you a different feel for the undersizedness where it's just like he's out there like weighing as much as like Darren Sproles, and just the fact that he doesn't get hurt more with how his sort of relentless he is at the rim, is surprising. I was just overall great trade. And ended up being probably for a value pick one of the best trades the Mavericks have had in the last 10 years.
Easily, for sure. Spencer Dinwiddie, Dodo, 2 second-round picks and a 2029 first. I mean, you would make that trade every single day of the week again. There's no way you would never do that trade again. 2022, KP.
That was the selling KP at his lowest and getting Spencer Dinwiddie.
Dinwiddie, Davis Bertans, KP, and then also the Mavs gave up a second-round pick in this trade as well.
That was I just remember kind of thinking the same way about how I feel about AD right now, where it's just like you got to move because I don't think he's ever going to be the same again. And then, of course, he turns around. He was great in his role for the Celtics. But I think probably
the seventh guy there.
Probably the right move at the time for the Mavericks.
Yeah, they had to do this. I remember the Davis Bertans inclusion had me a little bit like, what the fuck just happened? Mm-hmm. But also, I was so ready to be done with KP. Like that had reached a tipping point. It was like, we just need to move on from this whole thing. He doesn't play. When he's playing, probably 80% of the time he's playing, he's coming back from something.
Well, and then the Mavericks ended up having, like, that was when they changed their defensive identity and started running, like, a blitz scheme where Dwight Powell was just everywhere, is what I remember.
Sneaky,
and they somehow used him as the starting center to get to the Western Conference Finals, as Wupo points out.
Always underappreciated.
Yeah, that was a really fun year.
That was.
I enjoyed that one a lot.
So the 2024 was a different one because I was like, we could win the finals. The 2022 one was like, this is some Disney Channel. Like, this team has no chance. And I knew it at the time that they were going to get stomped by the Warriors. Of course, I picked them to win, but it was just like, there's no way this team is beating Golden State.
The way they lost to the Warriors was particularly painful because that was when, who was their center? He got traded. He's not on there anymore.
I mean, I remember Jordan Poole absolutely. Kevon Looney just destroyed the Mavs.
Reaching over Powell and being like, nope, my ball. I have 7'4" arms.
Destroyed them.
That was the painful way to lose to them.
Obliterated them. Mm-hmm. And then Jordan Poole went crazy.
Yes.
Wiggins.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a good team.
Onwiggins.
I thought he could have won the conference finals.
He was so good.
He was fantastic. Unreal. So that was the only trade the Mavs made then. But that's,
a good trade.
A big move. Now we get to this one. So this one was funny because of the offseason. It was the dogs are on the way. They traded for Josh Richardson and James Johnson.
Yes.
The infamous, the dogs are coming.
I enjoyed that one.
Well, kind of funny because they did need a little bit of that identity.
Yeah.
They didn't have that at all.
That was 2020 in season.
No, that was before the season in like November because that was after the bubble. Okay. So the offseason was like in Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. And then during the season, they traded away James Johnson. Goodbye, Wes Iwundu.
I just remember articles everyone trying to talk themselves. Hey, he could maybe. I was like, no.
Wes Iwundu, man. That's a blast from the past. Honestly, that's a name I would never have said. And then I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
If you have a Wes Iwundu jersey, show yourself.
Yes, please. I would love to see that actually. For JJ Redick and Nikola Melli.
And Melli, what a player! Redick was just his body was broken at that point, but Melli was a terrible fun watch. Like
he'd have a couple threes. You're like, oh my god, if he hits threes,
supreme confidence. I can't believe we had in a series of years they gave Luka, Nico Melli, and then the Latvian Laser.
Yeah,
what was going on?
So we talked about a lot of good trades, and that was.
Yep.
I've been trying to look through some of them, but then they weren't that active at the trade deadline. In the KP trade, Luka's rookie year, in hindsight, made total sense.
Yeah, I remember thinking at the time, because the picks ended up not hurting the Mavericks.
What hurt them was the fact that they became so, they couldn't make other moves because these KP picks were so far down the line.
And I remember thinking, I was like, I know Luka's good, but do you really want to fast forward the team building process like this? Because the expectations that came with KP were pretty high. And then it was just bad luck. Those teams were good. I mean, the 16 that was 1920, they started off 16-5, and that was with KP coming back from an ACL surgery.
Yep.
And then COVID hit. Like, that was the real kicker.
That was.
And then that was when Luka looked like in the bubble. That was probably Luka's physical peak with the Mavericks. He looked like a god during those games.
He did. And KP was awesome. And then gets hurt in the bubble playoffs.
Bad luck, too.
And then that was that.
Meniscus. I've torn my meniscus. It's just sometimes it just goes.
Yeah. And then the 2021 Clippers series, that was like the nail in the coffin. It was like KP cannot be here anymore. But the reason why I really liked it at the time is because you gave up that the 2020 pick, right? To get Luka, or was it the 2019 pick? It ended up becoming Cam Reddish. So it didn't hurt. But I liked it because it was like, well, we can't really bottom out or tank anyways. So be aggressive, get a young guy. KP was 23 at the time? Yeah. Young.
And he wasn't, and he had listed a bunch of teams he's interested in going to, and the Mavericks weren't one of them.
Yeah, well, we took the chance and then paid him handsomely. Dennis Smith Jr., a year and a half. Just kind of sucks at
Poor
it.
guy.
I know.
That guy got some bad advice.
I loved him. Oh, I was rooting so hard for him.
Well, and the fact that he made a run to come back to the league, I know he didn't make the Mavericks roster this year, but he was out of the league. Thibodeau really had no interest in him. And the fact that he reshaped himself to become a defensive guard and play another year in the league is impressive.
It is.
He couldn't play defense with the Mavericks. That's kind of why Carlisle hated him.
I mean, he became one of the best small guard defenders in the league when he came back for Charlotte.
Yeah, he was fun.
Wes Matthews, DeAndre Jordan. 2021 pick became Keon Johnson. 2024, Keyshawn George. I mean, that got traded, but that's a good player.
Yeah.
But, you never know what's going to happen in the draft.
Right.
And that was some of the last big ones. And then they really went a long time without making an in-season trade unless this website's wrong. This website is wrong.
That's okay.
Well, yeah. Just fun to relive the recent
It's also
ones.
2020. It's also 2026 now. So when you say 7 or 8 straight years, it really only goes back to 2018.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy? 8 years. And again, I mentioned all of them, and it's like the Melly Redick one is like the only one that really did not fundamentally change a franchise.
Yep.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens in the next month. Completely different group operating things here. Actually, we have no clue.
That's right.
We have absolutely
We have no idea who's doing what.
I mean, Cuban could be back in there, and we're back to square one.
Which, for content's sake, would be great.
That would be hilarious.
For my soul and psyche would be horrible.
Would Cuban be named the GM not just be hilarious?
I just would die.
That would be so funny.
Mark and I are on better terms than we've been in a while, but like I just don't want Mark being the booster of a team versus the decision maker for a team is just a different situation. I don't want that anymore.
Yeah, I'm just owners should never have personnel say. They just shouldn't. Because reality, like, what do you know? You know?
I mean, there's some wild stuff over the years.
I love how Matt Ishbia's because the Suns are good now, that they're like, yeah, Matt Ishbia's done a great job. It's like that franchise is fucked.
Yeah, all they had the difference that the reason why the Suns are better this year is because they're playing the guys who are good.
Yeah,
it's like last year they just didn't play some of their good players,
and they try on defense.
Reasons. Yeah,
it's actually insane. People learn this every year. In the regular season, if you just try on defense every minute, you'll win a good amount of basketball games because you'll play teams that are like, oh shit, I didn't like.
That's what the Mavericks.
We just played the Jazz last
2022, 2024. That's what the Mavericks did in February and March on, and then they made it to the Western Conference Finals and the finals.
Well, that's
trying.
That Lakers stretch last year that gets brought up, where it was like they were the number one defense. Those 10 games, it's like if you watch those games, they were playing like it was a game 7 for some reason. It was like they will not do this over the course of a full year, but it does go to show if you just have these stretches where you just lock in defensively.
Yep. Make a difference.
I mean, that's the Thunder thing. They just throw 12 guys out and they play defense hard for 48 minutes.
And I kind of, just as a take here, I kind of think that happens over the Mavs' next 6 games, and we're like staring at the Mavericks being like 24-20, and everyone's going to be really excited, and it's going to be like they played the Jazz 3 times.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Mavs schedule coming up here is
it's really oddly soft, and then it
very
goes back
soft,
to being like depressingly difficult.
Yeah. Well, those are the games they win though.
Yes.
So the Kings games are the ones where they're like, we got to really dig deep, guys. Nuggets, it's like, don't worry, we got it.
We're going to beat the Nuggets. We're going to beat the Nuggets and the Rockets. Everyone else, I don't know.
That's part of where there's the encouragement and the Kyrie comes back.
Sure. If you want to talk yourself into it, I totally buy it.
I talk myself into next year. I think losing games this year makes sense.
Yeah.
I could talk myself into it next year, at least being somewhat fun when you don't have control of your pick, like whatever.
Why? Yeah, go for it. Do exactly. 'Cause I mean, I think that's what what happens with like the Pelicans this year is they all of a sudden just go on a tear because they have no reason not to.
Yeah. I'm interested in them because their rookies are great and fun rookies, but they're also destructive. Like they're not Cooper and VJ where they can like uber impactful players. They'll have good stats, but they're so bad defensively that they will lose you games.
Pierce is remarkably ridiculously weird. I just have a great time watching him because I don't know what's going to happen next. Like him instigating a fight with Najee Marshall is insane to me.
Yes, he's got that.
That made me kind of love him, but I also didn't want to see him get dropped.
Who else did he get in? He got into it big.
Luka.
Oh yeah, Luka. That's right. He's had a couple ones. I like him. I like that he has that, and he's stupid fast. But him and Queen. I'll watch a Queen game and I'll be like, have they scored 50 straight points on Derek Queen?
Jake in the chat says Mavs have to get the Pelicans pick from ATL. If they get that pick, whoever makes that choice becomes general manager for life. That would be an incredible get.
I've had people ask me, like, would you include Najee Marshall to get the pick? It's like, yes. Are you out of your mind?
Fine. I love Najee.
I would include Max Christie for that. I mean,
Najee's going to get a pay bump soon because he's good.
Yeah, Najee's very good. So whenever I say that, I'm not saying, yes, get rid of Najee. Right. I'm like, that pick is like, you, and then you could bottom out and tank, and you could realistically have 2 top 5 picks.
Be delightful.
Yeah, and I mean, that just completely changes everything. All right, I'm going to read some super chats here before I forget.
Sure.
Jack, $4.99, never thought Kirk and Slightly would collab. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I don't think we've ever done a collab or anything.
Oh, yeah, that's just because I always try. I don't always try. Since I moved back in 2021, I've not been very good about doing things because I got small children.
Well, and I'll just say this, and tell Nick this all the time. I don't really consume Mavs content at all.
No, you don't have time. It's good. No, it's good because that way you don't accidentally take somebody else's idea.
I watch every game that I talk. I don't need any more.
I will watch Locked On sheerly sometimes to sass Isaac.
Yeah.
Because I will never let him live down. JaVale McGee is the best free agent signing. Like, that's just the funniest thing anyone said on a Mavs show.
I like JaVale McGee
but
too.
Yeah, it's great. No, I totally. But that's why. It's mostly small children and me not doing near as much as I would like to do.
Well, yeah, I also like this. Coming into the studio is like the first time I've really.
This is really nice.
It is really nice. It is very nice. It's the first time I'm like, okay, I need to collab more. Like, it's just something I've never really done.
Yep.
Classic Stang Lover with the $1.99. AD and Clay not at shoot around. Anything brewing. That's actually interesting.
That's a great take. Thank you for that. We had no idea.
I did not know that either. That's pretty interesting.
What's the Brian? I got to meet Windhorst.
Yeah.
And just like, I was like a schoolgirl. I was like, yee! Just, it's the funniest.
What is going on in Dallas?
He's so memeable.
He is. See, he's another guy. He gets a lot of shit, but I think he's
dude.
great. He seems fantastic. That's actually interesting. I'll have to look and see what's going on there.
They were there, just not the media part of it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Damn it.
That game's here, right? Tonight?
No,
or in Utah?
It starts at 8 o'clock, which makes me know it's in Utah.
Okay. The mountain time stuff.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. 8 o'clock.
Because the Mavs games love being at 7:30, which really means 7:45, which I scream about into the void.
Oh, you and me both. That is my number one. That is one of my number one gripes. I don't understand the scheduling. I hate the fact that they do the.
Cuban bumped it because of traffic. I asked him once, and he's just like, we don't get here on time. And I'm like, have you been to a Mavs game? People don't get here on time anyway.
I know.
So you might as well start it at 7.
I've always hated that all of our games are 7:30. PJ Washington did not go through shoot around. Well, he's dealing with an ankle injury, isn't he?
Who's that? PJ? Yeah. His ankles have been giving him trouble all year.
Tim McMahon on Kyrie Irving. Based on what I'm hearing, Kyrie's not coming back before the trade deadline. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I always thought.
It's fine.
I thought recently some of the stuff we were hearing was like, oh, maybe he could come back quick.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, the problem
I always thought All-Star break.
The problem with seeing Kyrie play at like local rec gyms and then seeing because he's just a unbelievably graceful person.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he could play right now. And it's like, yeah, you don't want to mess with this stuff.
No, there's no point.
You just need the leg recovery.
The only thing I could see them rushing is if there is a directive up top, it's like, we need to see these 3.
Yeah.
And then maybe it's January 20th and it's like for the next 2 weeks, we have to see these 3.
Yeah.
And then we'll decide from there. I don't know. That could be interesting to see. And that's still a couple weeks away. And then Jay Kelly. Isn't that a movie that just came out recently? Jay Kelly. Join the Slightly Delusional Club. Thank you. That's it.
Love it.
That's what we've got. Thank you so much for coming. Where can we find you at?
For written content, which I don't do near as much as I want to. Mavs Moneyball. Always posting random stuff over there. We got a good team of people. If you're ever interested in writing, you can probably find me. I'll give you a place. And then Pod Maverick for post-game content, and both on the YouTube channel and wherever you get your podcast. If you want to scream into the void, like do what he and I are doing, it's a secondary show that's after Josh and I record, where I bring people up like it's a Zoom meeting at work. We just kind of talk through stuff. I did it the day of the Luka trade for 4.5 hours in the middle of the night because I was just like... And it was fun. So it's I find that fun. Well, part of the reason why I like doing that more than pretty much anything else that I do is because it's much more productive than typing to Twitter where you're screaming at people whose faces you can't see and they become just an asshole. So
yeah, that's true. That is a weird thing where when you're online and typing, it gets more and more aggressive.
Aggressive every time. I didn't like the person I was becoming, and I was like, let's just do some live stuff. And I got to meet, so it's the weird, the very weird people that are up at 2 a.m. after a Kings game. We had a great time.
I know.
This is fun.
True sickos.
Yeah.
True sickos. Well, thank you for coming out.
Sure.
It was a lot of fun.
Anytime.
Great show. I mean, it's very interesting what the Mavericks are going to do here in the next month. Offsides as well.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about that at some point soon.
Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe. Check out Kirk everywhere. And subscribe to the Haymaker studio, or the Haymaker channel. We're in the Haymaker studio. Haymaker channel in the description. Like, comment, subscribe. Love you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll talk to you next week, okay? Who knows? Maybe I'll talk to you sooner if there's a trade or something. Could be tomorrow. I mean, who knows?
That's right.
All right, see you guys.
Who's it gonna be? This is Lamar! Oh my God! My brain's gonna explode. There's something sinister afoot, absolutely.